What's up, guys? I got a size comparison video for y'all. This is for the Beeman BP50, which is this little guy right here. It's 50 caliber. I will measure it against 68 caliber stuff, only because I don't have a lot of the other 50 cal launchers. There's like the LTL Bravo, LTL Alpha, LTL Charlie, the Lancer stuff, Lancer tactical stuff. I don't have a Streetwise Heat. I don't have the Mercury Rise Mub 50. I typically just have the, well, pretty much only have for pistols. I have 50 caliber Umarex pistols or launchers. But I'll just show you guys. I have shown the SD, Byrna SD, and the salt supply in a previous video. If you missed it, it's totally fine. So here's the Beeman BP50. I've dyed this wine color with Rit dye. Sorry about that. That's somebody who was at the house. Salt supply S2. It's a little bit wider. This is the S2 right here. It's about this seems a little bit thinner, like just like a smidge. And then handle, bottom of the handle to the top is almost the same height. Obviously the grip on both is oriented differently, but this is a 68 caliber versus a 50 caliber pistol. So if I line up the back of the barrels, the Beeman goes to about here on the S2. So it is smaller. I think this is almost the same size as the Byrna SD. And I've shown that in a video I made like a week ago. It's a little bit skinnier than the SD, but it's almost the same height. If it didn't have the Pierce cap, or the Pierce cap was like if they used an 8 gram or something, it might sink in a little bit more, but that's not the case. So it does have the extra length on the Pierce cap. My Byrna SD is out of commission. Probably not going to fix it. I took a bunch of parts out of it and stuff, but I know what's wrong with it. I just can't. You can't get a part to fix it. So here is the back of the barrels, and they're pretty much lined up. Here's the front of the barrels, and yeah, they're almost the same size. Like, I think the Beeman is probably just like a millimeter thinner, maybe 2 millimeters thinner than the SD. But the Beeman has more of a overhang on the back. It's almost the same, honestly. It's just the Byrna SD is shaped a little bit different. So yeah, those are those. Those are sort of the smaller launchers, like sort of. The S2 is not small, but it's not giant. I'll show you giant stuff pretty soon. So here's the HDP50. I've had this for like a year now. Works perfectly fine. This is handle to handle. The HDP50 is skinnier. It's more narrow. And it's, you know, they're just, the placement of the barrels are off slightly because there's more overhang on the Beeman. I left mine alone, like this dovetail thing. So if you count that, like lining up back to back, the Beeman is probably like 1.5 inches shorter. If you don't count that, this dovetail thing, or like hand thumb holder thingy, it's like 1 inch or 3/4 inch shorter, the Beeman. Yeah, it feels nice with this hoe grip. Without the hoe grip, it's still a pretty decent grip. This is just like Planet Eclipse tape. And yeah, I'm not really going to go over magazines or nothing like that, because most of you guys know how that works. This is the TR50 Gen 1. The Gen 2 is the same size. And this is the Beeman BP50. So I made a video with these two recently. I don't know if I'll publish it by the time this is out, but you'll see it eventually. You'll see the head up challenge with these two. So here's the front of the barrels, back, and that's the handles. So the TR50 is kind of large, and if you line up the handles, obviously the BP50 is gonna hang out the back more, but the end of the barrel is kind of like where this like M-lock stuff is. So the BP50 is about, like if you line up the handles, it's maybe about here on the TR50. And then obviously, you know, this back end is, you know, you got this kind of on the back. So it's smaller than this. Here is the Sabre, the big yellow bad boy. So yeah, it's a lot smaller than the Sabre. Just they kind of have the same shape with the overhang on the back. But if I line them up, you know, handle to handle, it's like shorter. It's probably more narrow. The Sabre's pretty chunky. It's chunkier than the S2, I'm pretty sure. And only because the magazine sticks out the bottom, it's like the same height almost. But if I line up the top of the barrels and you look at that, the Sabre's still like a little bit bigger. If I was able to not have the magazine in the Sabre would be a little bit shorter, but then you can't shoot it because there's no magazine in it. And the magazine has the CO2 and the rounds. So yeah, the Sabre's big. Definitely a good bargain, but it's pretty big. And there's the front and there's the back. If I line up the back of the barrels, that's how much it hangs over. So yeah, that's the Sabre. The Sabre's actually lighter than the Beeman BP50, like it weighs less. This is the old Tippmann TiPX. This is freaking huge. So here's the S2 compared to the TiPX. And here is the Beeman BP50 compared to the TiPX. So here's the bottom of the handle. There's the tops of the barrels and slides, even though they don't move, or whatever you want to call it. The TiPX has the overhang. Excuse me. TiPX has the overhang on the back. And the barrel in the front is way bigger, or like longer. So if I line up the back of the barrels, the Beeman goes to about where the rail starts on the bottom of the TiPX. And it's almost the same height. I would say the Beeman is a little bit taller just because of the pierce cap, and it's like a 1/4 inch. So the Beeman, it stops about right here on the TiPX. So all this is extra on the TiPX, just comparative size. They're almost the same width. Nah, not even close. The TiPX is probably like a 1/4 inch thicker, or at least 1/8 of an inch thicker, probably closer to like 3/16. I don't know how many millimeters that is. But the last big boy I got on the table right here is the TR68. As you guys can tell, I got into some paint and stuff, and yeah, so this is the Beeman BP50 and the TR68. It's not even really a comparison. Handle to handle, yeah, it's just way bigger. And obviously the Umarex stuff, there's way more aftermarket third-party accessories for it, and they are very strong if you modify them. It's not hard to modify them, but once you modify them, you can't really they're already kind of big. The smallest one's probably the HTP50, but once you modify them, and if you're trying to use 12-gram CO2s, you'll only get like 6 to 8 shots with the HTP50. With this one, if you're running at full power on a 12-gram, you'll probably get 6 shots, or like, you know, 1 magazine, because this is 5 rounds. So I mean, it's a trade-off. You either go super high power, or you just have like more consistent shots off of 1 12-gram. But for like home protection, you could do whatever you want pretty much with these things. Here's I guess the front of the barrel. And the TR50, 68, sorry. So yeah, this thing it's just massive. Here's the Sabre and the TR68. Here's the TiPX and the TR68. So the TR68 is larger than the TiPX just because the handle is kind of in a different spot. But yeah, that's pretty much the pistols I have. I have BB guns and stuff, but those are small because 2 of them are like replica Glocks, and one of them is just like probably smaller than this. This isn't small, but it is small for a CO2 powered launcher. Most people think the Byrna SD is a little bit chunky, and it kind of is, but this is basically, before the CL came out, this was probably the smallest compact launcher, and the BP50. It's more narrow. You can appendix carry this pretty easily. You can kind of appendix carry this pretty easily. I can definitely appendix carry this pretty easily. And then I have a OWB, just like a holster. I haven't tried this in here yet. This is for the Byrna SD or the LE or the HD or whatever. It doesn't work for the CL. I don't have a CL. Not going to buy one after seeing all the inconsistent power coming from it. And I'm in California, so I can't use pepper ball ammo or chemical irritant stuff. Can't use it. So yeah, this is for the SD. It fits the BP50 pretty good. And this was like 20 bucks on eBay. And they have an online store too. It's tactical Scorpion gear, or Scorpion tactical gear, or something like that. But yeah, they have a couple other holsters and stuff. So that, it works, but this is the BP50. It works, but it moves around a little bit. It does do the trigger lock, like the trigger guard gets locked in there. I'll have to try wearing this on a couple weekends when I'm at the ranch, just to see if it's comfortable or not. Because yeah, I mean, it moves around a little bit. I'm gonna get my other soft holster. So here's the Glock 19X Gen 5. It's a replica Glock 19X. This is the Beeman BP50. So it's, it's kind of chunky. It's a Glock, but it's just a little bit smaller. This is the Glock 19 Gen 3. It's also a replica. A little bit shorter, but yeah, it's pretty small for a launcher. Here's a soft case that came with my Byrna SD. This obviously fits the Byrna SD, even with the my 12-gram adapter thing. This is the BP50, fits fine. Here's the Beeman. I'm pretty sure it's gonna fit. Yeah, it fits. I'd say it works fine. But this is also, I mean, you can put this inside waistband if you want, but it seems like it's okay. I'll have to try this one out too. I'll probably try this one first before I try this one. I'll do something. And then these obviously fit really easily in here. But yeah, that's it for the size comparison. So if you were not sure how big this was or how small it was, I'd say it's about the size of an SD. A little bit more narrow, but more powerful. Kind of janky magazine. Mine's all screwed up. I fixed it, but it's not the best. And you can't buy mags for this yet. You can't buy parts for this. There's no warranty with this. It's only $100. I think these have a 90-day warranty. The BP50s and any T4E thing, I think they have a 90-day warranty. I'm not 100% sure. The Byrna SD or any Byrna product, as long as you don't open it up and do a bunch of weird stuff to it, you'll have a 1-year warranty, I'm pretty sure. but the price tag is high. So this is close to $400. The LE is like $450. The CL is like $550. So essentially, if you break this, you can buy a new one 3 times, if that happens to you, and then you'll finally spend the money that you would have on an SD. Yeah, I don't know. If I could use pepper balls and stuff, I would totally like use this or have this all the time, or fix it. I can't do that. I can't use pepper balls in my state, so I mainly just use these for kinetics. I like to have like at least it hitting like 15 joules at least. This will hit 15 with heavy ammo. My S2 hits 20 most of the time. This even in hot weather, I could barely get it to hit 17. It's usually doing like 12 joules, maybe 14 on a warmer day. But yeah, it's not terrible. It's actually pretty accurate. But yeah, kinetic, most people say, you know, you want 30 or 40 joules for kinetic, but it's all about shot placement and stuff also. So yeah, this thing's cool little pistol. It's good for what it is, but it does have the, you know, magazine flaw, and other than that, a plastic barrel is the only like kind of junky thing about this pistol. But it has good power. It hasn't failed to fire on me yet, and I've shot it probably around 400 times, somewhere around there, 350 to 400 times. But anyways, going off topic, you guys have a good one, and see you next time.